faces. I love everybody here. It's like another way of saying, I don't really have a lot going on in my life. All right, so, all right. Okay, let's see. Okay, I'm recording, good. Let me get my YouTube ready to go so I can put it on there. It's fine. All right. Okay, so how many of you have got my emails today? Oh, Alan. Oh, how are you? Eleanor, ni hao. Look at this. We've got Terry. Terry's got the wool cap on, thinking he's an 8 Mile. I love it. All right. Stephen, okay, are we ready to get going? Good. All right. So as I told you guys, we have what's it called? So we have our the exam is finished. The as I told you, you have 14 multiple choice questions. The first 10 are worth 1 point. The last 4 are AP questions. They are worth 2 points. Okay, and then the free response is worth 12. Okay. Now the free response, just giving you a heads up, I don't, when it comes to print statements, things like that, incrementations, these are expected things. So don't expect a lot of points when it comes to that, okay? So that being said, okay, let's get started, okay? All right, here we go. Okay, let's get our minds boggled with this. Here we go. Beautiful. Now, first question, all right? Take a look at this, all right? Now, Boolean on off switch. Actually, you know what? This isn't fair. Let me do this. Hold on 1 second. This is not fair. Here we go. This is a little better. All right. All right, take a second and let's take a look. Boom, there we go. Okay, all right. Let's see. How many of you think that it is A? Raise your hand. Okay. How many of you think it is B? Raise your hand. How many of you think it is C? Raise your hand. How many of you think it is D? Raise your hand. And how many of you think it is E? Raise your hand. Okay. How many of you want a few more minutes to go over this one? How many of you need 1 more minute? Okay, 1 more minute. Hey Siri, set timer for 1 minute. You have 1 more minute to analyze this question.
Your timer is set for 1 minute.
Okay, all right. How many of you think it was A? How many of you think it was B? How many of you think it was C? How many of you think it was D? Okay, and how many of you think it was E? All right, so the first one that we have, okay? So the first one, just elimination. So the first thing to do, guys, is get the pattern down, all right? On, off switch, not on, off switch, going through I each single time, okay? The first one does print out true. So that eliminates false, okay? So the answer can't be D, all right? Then the second one should be false, okay? And then because of the eyes, it kind of screws with you. Then it should be true because it doesn't print for a couple of times. And then it's false. And then at that end, by the time it gets back to where it can print, it's already at 9. So this should have been, the answer should be B. Okay.
Mr. Marty?
Yes.
So I just want to ask, for for loops in general, whenever, like, if we look at the first if, like if we're doing the first iteration, or whenever it's the false iteration and it switches to false.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry. No, that's not what I meant. I meant whenever we're on the true iteration and it does I++,
Yep.
it becomes 2, and then does it add the I++ from the step expression?
Absolutely
Or how
it does. Absolutely it does. It doesn't overtake it. That is why you got to find the pattern of how many times it prints, because this won't print 9 different things. This I++ means there's going to be some skipping around. So yeah, technically in some cases, if it's modular, if it falls within the on switch, which is true, it's going to add 2.
So my question is that, when does the step expression take place? When does
Every single time. There's nothing.
No, but does it happen?
What is step 4 of your for loop, Nick?
Mr. Marty?
What is step 4 of your for loop?
The step expression?
Then why are you asking me?
I don't remember.
Then why? Yes. Okay. Is the step expression is the last thing that happens. So if an incrementation happens inside, then yes. So let's say this goes to 2. The I++ is now going to turn into 3.
Okay.
Okay. All right. 1 more. Okay. And then we'll go over some just kind of review stuff of what's happening. All right. 1 more to get us going, to get our brains in thinking mode. For Ashton, that's going to be a very low mode. Nope, not even a little bit, Ashton.
Mr. Marty?
Did you say Bin Laden?
No, Mr. Marty.
Oh, that's okay. Yes, what's up, Allie?
The worst thing about the program you use to test us is that we can't click on Zoom to tell you to stop making noises.
How dare you? Allie's back with it. That's good.
You're like, stop making noises and I'll lose focus. And I'm like, I don't know what to do anymore.
That's great. I'm funny. Okay, 75% of America answered this question correctly. Okay, all right. So first of all, okay, first of all, the key thing that you should look for is what? First thing that I would look for in an equation like this is I would look at the conditional statement. Okay, how many times does this run? Twice. Okay, that eliminates answers B, C, and E. Now I do my first run through. Math.pow num 3. 3 squared is 9.0. It's not 8.0. Therefore, the answer is D. Did you see how I was able, with literally just looking at the conditional expression, I was able to literally eliminate 3 answers right off the bat? That is how you should be thinking. Okay, right away I eliminated 3, and then I didn't even have to do both loops. I literally could just do num squared, okay, knowing it's 9.0. Okay, this 8.0 is meant to confuse you, thinking that you're multiplying 2 to 2 cubed, so kind of like that you have the base and the exponent backwards. Okay, all right. Okay, so that one was actually, how many of you guys thought that one was an easy one? Believe it or not, how many of you guys got that one right? Who got it wrong? Oh, Eleanor, come on, keep your hand up. No time to be proud. Euban, are you eating?
Yeah, sorry.
Is it bulgogi?
No, it's cereal.
Darn it. Okay. All right. Okay. So one last one. I'm going to give you a difficult one. Okay. Here we go. All right. All right. Oh, Runner Girl joined us. Hello, Runner Girl.
Hi, Mr. Marty.
All right. Okay. So here we go. It's the last multiple choice before we do a little bit more in-depth review. Okay. Okay. I need to see your hands high. Okay. How many of you think it's A? How many of you think it's B? How many of you think it's C? How many of you think it's D? And how many of you think it's E? Okay, the answer is D. Okay, now if we look at this loop right here, if we look at this, int I equals 1, I is less than or equal to 30, I plus plus, literally we can flip out, the symmetric property still applies, I modular 5 is equal to 0. What this is doing is it's just printing out multiples of 5. Okay, that's all this is doing. So if we look at A, okay, so if we take a look at A prints out 4, 8, 14, 19, 24, and 29. Okay. What does B do? Okay. B prints out all the multiples of 5, but it prints it out in reverse order. That is not the same thing. Okay. What does C do? C prints out 1, 6, 11, 16, 21, and 6. And E prints out every single number. The only one that appropriately prints out every single multiple of 5 is D. Okay. All right. This one, now again, this one, 52% of the nation answered this question correctly. However, the way that I have taught you guys, a little disappointing, this one should have been an easy answer or an easy question for you guys. You need to look at the conditional statement and just find out what the pattern of the loop is. Find out right away what the pattern of that conditional statement is. Yes, Uma.
For that question, for like answer D, it said it would print out 32 times when in the original code it printed out 30 times. So is that still okay?
Didn't print it. So, but here's the thing that you missed. So let me share that again, Uma. So here's what you missed. Okay. You missed this part. I plus equals 5. So it's not printing out 32 times. You're adding 5 to each time. So at 30, this will stop and then it will get to 35. Is 35 less than or equal to 2 or 32? No, it's not. At that point, it will turn false and 30 is the last thing that prints. Okay, so make sure you are paying attention. Here we have single incrementations. Here we have plus equals 5. Pay attention to the step expression. Okay. Okay, I'd like everybody to know that the Dodgers have officially tied the score. Okay. All right. So that being said, let me pull up Eclipse and let me answer any questions on loops. Okay, here we go. All right, so now so again, how many of you guys have actually looked at Adhesive or AP Classroom? Benny, would you say there's some pretty good questions on both?
Especially AP Classroom. They're very good questions.
AP Classroom has some very, very, very good questions. The explanations are shite, okay? But that just goes to show you that, you know, they can write a good question, but they're not always the best teachers, okay? So when it comes to that, again, when it comes to for loops and while loops, it's a preference. You can use either or, okay? I can tell you, I'm actually not going to say anything. Never mind. I was going to give you a hint on your free response, but never mind. Okay. Does anybody have any questions regarding the for loop? Now is the time. Benny, yes.
So if you have 2 for loops, like nested for loops, if you create a variable inside of the first for loop, but outside of the second for loop, is it a global variable?
Hold on. Sometimes my monitor overheats and it shuts off. So I didn't hear anything that you said, Benny. Start all over.
Okay. If you have a nested for loop and you declare a variable or create a variable inside the first for loop, but outside of the second for loop, is it a global variable for the inner for loop?
Exactly.
But a local
yes,
variable?
it is. Yes, it is. It would be considered, it's still considered a local, but yes, because it exists within the structure of that for loop. So that other for loop was, so you got to almost look at it like this. It's its own mini program. Okay. So that's
So we
what's
can't,
happening.
so we can't
Huh?
use any variable created inside the nested for loop outside of it inside the main over for loop.
What?
Like if you have a nested for loop and you make a variable inside that one, you can't use it in the outer for loop for the
No,
nested for
not at
loop.
all. No.
Okay.
Gotta look at it. It abides by the same structure. So Benny's right. If you created a local variable and you used it inside of the nested for loop or nested if statement or nested while loop, it acts as a global, specifically just for the outer for loop scope. Okay. Any other questions?
Can you repeat what you just said?
So for example, what he was saying is this. Let me just give you an example. So Benny was saying something like this. And Benny, again, correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe I have your question down. So let's just say he was saying this. Okay. For int j equals 0. Can you guys see my screen? J is less than 5. J plus plus. Why do I use J? Anybody for extra credit?
Because Javi is the best name.
No.
J is the best letter in the alphabet.
J is the sexiest letter in the alphabet. Very close, Armand. But you don't get extra credit points. But you have
Not even a quarter point, half point. No.
Oh my God, sorry guys. I don't know why my monitor is overheating like that. Sorry about that. Okay. All right, so right now, J is a local variable, okay? But let's say that we have a nested for loop. Okay, K is less than 3. K plus plus. Okay, and then I say J plus plus. Okay, so I want to, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to sys out by. Okay, how many times is by going to print out?
15.
Twice. Why? Because what happened is J is acting as a global variable. So what happened is J is equal to 0. It prints out the first by. Then we go into K. K is less than 3. So this is going to print 3 times. So J is now 1, J is now 2, J is now 3. Then we go to our step expression. J is 4, right? So now J is equal to 4 is 4 less than 5. It prints by one more time. Now J is 5, J is 6, J is 7. Is 7 less than 5? No. So it prints out twice. So this was directly like Benny said, this is basically affecting the outer global variable. Because this was created within the scope of this for loop, it recognizes this variable as a global. Okay. Does everybody understand that? Allie, do you understand that?
Yes.
Does anybody not understand that? I have no problem explaining it again. Alex, you understand it?
Yeah.
Steven?
Yes.
Eleanor?
Yeah.
Are you sure? Terry? Wajal Baba?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. So now, Allie, stop looking scared. All right. So now, anybody else? That's a good question. I don't have anything like this on the exam, so don't worry about it. Anybody else? Please. Not
Mr.
out.
Marty.
Sorry, guys. I've had my monitor on for like a few hours, so it just keeps going on and off, on and off, on and off. But I might be pulling too much juice from it as well. So,
Mr. Marty.
Okay. All right. Sorry, guys. Okay, go ahead.
Probably need to go like in a minute, so can I upload it to YouTube?
Okay. All right. Sorry about that. Okay, go on.
I need to go like in a minute, so can I upload it to YouTube?
Okay, I've got it directly connected to the plug. If you see me go video, that means my monitor, which is connected to everything, is turning off, and I don't know why. Okay, go on. Ask your question.
I probably need
Sorry,
to go
Terry.
like in a minute. Oh man.
Okay, if it happens again, I'm gonna have to go. Okay, if it happens again, I'm gonna just have to go onto my laptop, so I won't have as much space. Okay, go ahead.
I just said I probably need to go like in a minute, so can I upload the video to YouTube?
Of course, yes.
All right, thanks.
Okay. Okay, anybody else?
Mr. Marty,
Yes.
I have
who's
a
talking?
question about the while loop.
Who's talking?
Eleanor.
Okay, what's up, Eleanor?
So when exactly do we have to use the continue and break for while loops?
So while loop, basically, you got to look at it this way. You can use a continue anytime you want. You can use a break anytime you want. Continues are basically based on conditional expressions, conditional statements. So like, for example, they ask you to skip over something, omit certain elements or anything like that. That's what a continue is for. But like, let's say, for example, a break is going to be more often used in a while loop. And I can't remember, I think it was Kennedy that asked today, when should we use a Boolean for while and when should we use a break? Okay. So for example, if I have a while loop, so more than likely, let's say I have no specific end time or whatever, right? Let's say that I have no specific thing that says end it, like, okay, let me just do it. So I can do this, Boolean run equals true. So what Kennedy asked was, okay, when should I use a Boolean? Or when I have a Boolean like this, should I do run and then like on a certain thing, should I set it to break the loop? Okay. So in this case, I don't want it to break the loop. So in this case, what I would do is if I'm using a Boolean to control my while, use an if statement, or whenever it's time for the loop to end, just set the Boolean to false. But I would never do it this way. I would always try to run my while loops like this. While true. Oh! Okay, while true. Because then what I can do is then just use a break. Okay? So a break would be more used when you have a Boolean that is running your while loop. Could you use it with a Boolean like variable? Yes, you could. Break is more, but you're more often than not going to see break in a while loop than a for loop. Why? Who can explain why?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Okay. So who can tell me why we would use a break with a while loop more often than with a for loop?
Because a for loop, you would just have
Conditional.
you'd have it go outside of the parameters and it would stop.
No.
Doesn't a for loop already have a predetermined ending?
Who said that?
Where Vasily said that?
Vasily, you are spot on. A for loop is almost always going to have a predetermined ending. A while loop won't. So it would make more sense to use a break. Good job, Vasily. Wow, super impressed. You're not just a fluffy-haired man. You're a fluffy-haired Superman. Okay. Anybody else? But I am, all that aside, Vasily, very impressed. Good answer. Okay, anybody else? Okay, so let's pull up some while loop questions. Okay, hold on one second. Let's pull up some while loop questions. All right. All right, this is an easy one. Okay, this is a very, very easy one. This is one that I would expect everyone in this class to get right. Okay. You have 1 minute starting now. Twenty more seconds. Okay. All right. How many of you got A? Raise your hand. How many of you got B? Raise your hand. How many of you got C? Raise your hand. How many of you got D? Raise your hand. Okay, and how many of you got E? Raise your hand. Okay, the answer was C. Okay, the answer was C. And the reason why is what's happening is this is going through all of this. It's basically an old school algorithm. 0 plus 0, 0 plus 1, 1 plus 2, 3 plus 3, 6 plus 4, 10 plus 5, 15 plus 6, 21 plus 7, and then finally 28 plus 8 equals 36, because at 9, the loop would break. All right. Go through, and if you need to, create a table for this. Okay. So Yubin, I saw that you got this one wrong. Where did you go astray?
I multiply wrong.
You multiplied? Where was multiplication? What the hell?
I used the 4. Okay, never mind.
What? Okay, all right. We're gonna play a game called Don't Do What Yubin Does. All right. Okay. Who else got that program wrong? Raise your hand. Be honest. Don't be proud. Who else got it
Alex
wrong?
is laughing at me.
Who's laughing at you?
Alex, bye.
No one is laughing at you. Remember, we're not laughing at you. We're laughing near you. Okay, who else got this wrong? Alan, I need to see more than your black hair. What happened?
I forgot to increment y.
The old forgot to increment y trick, huh? All right. Okay, and all right, well, okay, so, and then we'll do this one right here. God, oh, I have to get rid of this one. This one I used on your test. So this may or may not be a test question that you see tomorrow. And here we go. Okay. Okay, so 36% of the nation got this right. So this isn't considered a very difficult one. Okay, how many of you think it is A? How many of you think it is B? Raise them high. Okay, how many of you think it is C? How many of you think it is D? And how many of you think it is E? Okay, so the answer is D, 1 and 3 only. Okay, so the reason why, okay, in int total, so for the first one, okay, when you're looking at the first one, so it is an example of an infinite. So num is incremented by 10 each time through the loop until it reaches 50. But at that point, guys, it stays at 50. Okay. So even though the test in the while loop is num is less than or equal 100, it will always be true. So once this gets to 50, it's just going to stay there. It never increments anymore. So this is going to continue on forever and ever. Okay. This one appears to be an infinite loop, but it really isn't. Okay. It's incremented by 10 each time through the loop until it reaches 50. At that point, it will stay at 50, but the variable named total is the one that screws you up, because what's going to happen is soon it's going to get to the highest value that int can be. And then at that point, when you add 1 to the highest value that an int can be, what does it become?
Negative.
The lowest possible negative number, which would cause it to break. Total would, okay? And then last, okay, the total would be negative, therefore total would not be greater than or equal to 0, okay? And then the last one, if total is greater than or equal to 10,000, statement, it will continue to loop unless it encounters a break or return statement. Okay, since num is never incremented, it stays at 0. Okay, therefore it is stuck in an infinite loop. Total, it never gets, nothing is incrementing num. So it's 0 plus 0, 0 plus 0, plus 0 plus 0, 0 plus 0, 0 plus 0, 0 plus 0. Total will never increment, therefore it is 1 and 3 only. Okay. This one was a hard one, but it looks like you guys got this one, which is good. Okay. I think it's weird that only 36% answered this question correctly. My guess would be it's probably at the end of the exam. All right. So these are the types of questions that are going to be on the test. Now, that being said, also, anybody have any questions on whiles or for loops, guys? Unfortunately, I got to be strict on time tonight. Okay. Again, everything is fair game. Yes.
On the free response for the test, or is it going to be like, can we do either while or for loop, or is it going to be like, do this?
What?
Can you choose to use either a while or a for loop?
You can choose whatever, but I can tell you one of them is it's based on the way that I wrote the question. one is going to make more sense than the other.
Okay.
Anybody else?
Could you do the number one from the AP Classroom free response?
I don't have access to AP Classroom. I don't have the time to pull it up.
Okay.
The free response?
Yeah. It was like,
I wouldn't know what to do with it or where to look and stuff like that. I don't have time to pull it up. We only have a few more minutes left.
If I can get it and email it to you within the next 2 minutes, can we do it?
Can you give an example of when you would use a while loop over a for loop?
What's that?
Can you give an example of when you would use a while loop over a for loop?
When there's no predetermined ending. Like, for example, if I ask a question, allows the user to guess until they get the number right. That would be a while loop, not a for loop. Allow the user to continue entering stuff until they press the number 0. That would be it, okay? All right, and guys, any questions? Okay, we went over 5 or 6 multiple choice questions. I should kind of give you an idea. The degree of difficulty isn't as hard as those questions were, believe it or not, but they are long and tedious. Again, guys, things that I can tell you about. The conditional expression, okay? Look at it. The step expression, make sure, okay? The key, as I told you guys, find the pattern. You shouldn't have to go more than 2 or 3 times. Yes, Ben.
For adhesive, if we wanted to like try the quizzes, it says that we have to complete everything beforehand. So is there a way that you could unlock it so we don't need to do anything?
No, because I actually want you to go through everything beforehand.
But like loops aren't until unit 4, so we'd have to do all the exercises and quizzes from unit 1, 2, and 3.
I disabled that. You should be, because Kennedy emailed me. I disabled that option. You guys should be allowed to skip around. You shouldn't have anything, like you shouldn't have to complete anything in sequential order.
I just loaded it up and it says complete the following requirements, and then this page will be unlocked.
Yeah, same for me.
Well, all right, I'll take a look at it, okay? That I will take a look at, okay, and see if I can get it up and going, okay? No functional questions, nothing else, guys? The multiple choice questions that I gave you are good questions, okay? But again, I would go to AP Classroom, okay? And again, there's a couple of you. Allie, did you see my email?
About the AP Classroom.
Yes.
login?
Yeah,
Yes, I did.
registering? Okay, good. Are you okay now?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Mr. Martinez,
Yes.
where am I supposed to go on adhesive to study?
You were supposed to sign up. I put the token online. You were supposed to sign
No,
up
I
for
know, but
adhesive.
is it like in modules or?
Yeah, it would be in modules.
Okay, I see.
Yeah,
For
you
me,
go.
I can't access any of like the units.
Okay, I was just about to ask. Okay, hold on. All right, I'll take a look at the adhesive. Okay. I can tell you right now, I would stick with AP Classroom if you were going to study and try practice problems. Okay. Alan, how are you feeling?
I feel okay.
Okay. Okay. I'm not okay. Eleanor, how are you feeling?
Okay.
Okay. Euban.
I'm good.
Okay. Allie.
Yep.
Uma.
Better than I before, like this session. So
Has Pops been helping you?
yeah.
Okay, good. Bye.
Feeling good.
Good. Steve.
It helps.
Okay. Lance. And guys, as I'm going through, it's like literally me, like if you have anything to add or ask, that's your time to ask. Lance, how you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good.
Okay, good. Tokes?
a little iffy on the multiple choice, but just a question. So you said in your email that 1 through 10 would be multiple choice that you wrote, and like the last 4 are the AP questions.
I even put on the thing. I actually put how do you say? I put what year they came from, the AP.
Right. I was just wondering, is it actually like 1 through 10 is the regular, and then like 11 through 14 or whatever are the like AP? Like it's not mixed in.
No, it's just 1 through 10 is mine. Then 11 through 14 are the APs.
Okay, so would
And
you
again,
recommend?
Remember the APs are worth 2 points each.
Right. Would you recommend just like as a test taking thing, like just to like skip to the
No.
AP ones or no?
No.
Okay.
As I said, the best thing to do, set a 2-minute timer, go through each question, 2 minutes, flag it if you can't. Also, guys, just in case, always write down your answer just in case you lose power or anything you need to restart. Armand.
Feel good.
Benny.
Pretty good.
Nick.
I felt better coming into this than I do now.
What? Yeah, but then again, Nick, you always second guess yourself. So, and you've been crushing it on the test. So know that you're doing well and know that you are dwelling on the wrong concepts.
Okay.
Because right now you're blowing it out of the water. You're crushing it. But you also, this is causing you to screw up a lot. Don't overthink things. Henry, how are we feeling?
I'm feeling okay. I forgot to email you earlier. I'm about extra time, so I'm just doing that right now. Sorry.
Hold on, Henry. I'm going to have you repeat that. What was that, Henry? How you feeling? You feeling good?
Yeah, I'm feeling okay. I forgot to email you earlier about extra time. I'm just doing that right now.
Email me. I need it in writing. Okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's called following instructions. Vasily, feeling good?
Yeah, I had one question about
Yes.
the multiple choice that we just did. Were
Mhm.
those your questions or AP questions?
AP questions.
Okay.
Ashton. Good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Logan?
I'm a little worried about how much time I have, like running out of time during the test.
Okay. Like again, appropriate yourself. Like you have 45 minutes. Spend 25 minutes on the multiple choice. The free response gonna cause you to think a little bit, but some of you are gonna get it right away and spend only like 5 to 10 minutes on it. Okay. So 25 minutes and then goes, no matter what, Logan, go straight to the free response. Okay.
Mr. Marty,
Yes.
I'm just curious. If we had 55 minutes like we did last year, would you have given us the same tests with like the same amount of time?
My tests never go more than 45 minutes.
Okay.
So we had 55 minutes last year, means you're getting out of class 10 minutes early.
Okay.
You're gonna start to see my tests are hard. Okay. No, I hate saying this. I've had multiple students cry after some of my exams. I don't do it on purpose. That's just a little bit too much worrying and stuff like that. I personally laugh, but hey, we're all different humans. Okay. Isis, runner girl, anything.
I'm all right. I'm just worried about the free response.
Don't second guess yourself. You do okay with the free response, Isis. Just remember, don't do the things that I told you could be penalized for. The semicolons after a for loop and an if statement. And then don't give me any of the imports. Okay. Code for points. All right. But at the same time, don't just jumble down a bunch of crap. It's got to make sense. Okay. But lately, Isis, it's like your multiple choice. It's kind of been shaking. Okay. So make sure you're going slow. All right. Greek Thunder.
I'm good.
Okay, now again, guys, with the same thing with my questions as is with everyone else. You guys can usually eliminate 2 answers literally by looking at the question, looking at the conditional, or finding the pattern. You literally can eliminate 2 to 3 answers just like that. I will tell you guys right now, the AP questions are probably the easiest questions. You're literally going to get to them and be like, what? Really? The first question itself, I honestly think the first AP question, if it takes you more than 30 seconds, I'm going to be shocked. If even 30. Okay? You're going to, because my first 10 are brutal. The next 4, you're going to be like, what the hell? This is an AP question? And it literally is. Okay? They were literally copied from the unreleased exams. All right. So that's it, guys. I think you guys are going to do okay. I really, really, really cannot stress it enough. Look at the conditional, find the pattern, eliminate answers. Right off the bat, you should be able to eliminate 2 or 3 and your chances increase. Okay? So good luck. I have proofread everything. You should be great. And then from there, we should be good. Okay? All right, guys. Good job. I'm going to post this online right now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank